So I went to college for theater arts dance. So I always been active. But my intentional health journey started 2017. I was out of college at that time, living in Los Angeles, California. At that time, I was a professional dancer, background dancing for like local artists, dance production shows. I was also like in other arts, like I would like take acting classes, other like fun things in Los Angeles. So much to do out there. So that's what I was doing. But I was also like heavily into weight training. I had like started weight training in college in 2011, and that just like stuck with me to this day. So I was weight training, but my eating habits weren't like matching what I thought a person that's in the gym would be eating like. And that I believe that kind of caught up with me in a way. So in 2017, I had like this a health scare is what I usually say. My fingertips started to go numb. So I was like, what's this? I kind of ignored it. They were like a little chapped. And so I was like, maybe it was wintertime. So like, maybe it's cold. Maybe I'm dehydrated. Let me drink some more water. So I drank more water, and they continued to be chapped. So chapped that they would bleed, and it was like really hurt to touch. So I have like Band-Aids on like 3 fingers on this side and 2 fingers on this side. But, living my life. I was also, outside of auditioning for dance gigs, going to dance classes. I was also working as a waitress. I was working at 2 different jobs, 2 different restaurants, because the tips were great. I was paying my rent with just tips. But
we've all done it.
Right. That was happening. But I ignored it. I was like, it'll just go away. I'll drink water. It didn't go away. The fingers started to get numb. And then my toes and my feet started to get numb. And I was just like, this is weird again. And I had like no real sound knowledge of health, really. So I just went on about my life, continued to do what I did. I was like, I started to think like, maybe it's the way I'm lifting my weights. Maybe I should like take a break. Don't go to the gym as hard or something like that. I made up some craziness. It persisted. And then my lips and my mouth were getting numb. So I was like, okay, this is scary. Like, I need to go to the doctor. So I went to the doctor. They couldn't tell me what was going on. They didn't take any tests, which now that I think about it, it's like, they didn't run any type of test. She just asked me like, have you done anything different? I was like, no, I'm just doing the same thing I've been doing for years. I was like, okay, well, go home. And if it gets worse, come back. I was like, if it gets worse, I may not come back, So, but again, I was ignorant at the time. So I went back home, continued to do what I was doing. And it persisted. So I went back. I can't remember the time frame, but I went back again. And she was like, well, Black and brown people are usually deficient in vitamin D. Maybe you need a vitamin D pill. Again, she didn't run any tests, no blood tests or anything. I was just like, okay. Again, looking back, every time I tell the story, it's like, I was so ignorant. I didn't ask for tests. I didn't do this. I didn't do that. I didn't.
But you know what? I think if our audience is listening, they can totally relate to that, because you don't feel empowered. You kind of feel like the doctor is the expert, and you don't want to challenge and you don't want to question. So I think so many people can relate to what you're saying right now. Absolutely.
100%. Yeah. So I took the vitamin D pill. I don't really know if it worked really, because I was still kind of not feeling technically the symptoms, but maybe like sometimes like my feeling in my fingers would come back. So that kind of ignited me into like, why am I like you said, I felt so unempowered. I felt helpless, like depending on someone outside of myself to tell me about myself. So it's like, no, this is crazy. That's when I got into like this rabbit hole of holistic health and natural health and things I could take to naturally heal myself. Long story short, I got into that. I was able to get myself out of what I got myself into. I believe it was a vitamin B12 deficiency and iron deficiency that got too far into the deficiency. But again, doctor didn't run any tests. So I was able to remedy me back to health. And that was awesome. I was like, wow, I did it. Like, no pills or anything, pills are, needed at some times, but I just thought it was amazing that I could do this with foods and herbs and, exercises.